What's good, everybody? It's your brother Man Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet. The brother who told you not to let your girl go to that Usher concert with her butt cheeks showing, but you did it anyway, and now you're looking sour and mad and bitter on social media. And I'm black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. So, Mr. Darius Dalton, the man who impregnated Keke Palmer, the actress, is upset. He's upset, very upset, because the the mother of his child is at this little Usher show getting serenaded by Usher, and she's got on a very revealing outfit where you can see her cleavage and like some see-through leggings or whatever, and you can see her little butt cheeks. And she's just sitting there cheesing, showing all her teeth, and just as happy and as pleased as possible, looking like a complete fangirl for Usher, which I'm not surprised about. She's about that age to where you would be a fangirl for Usher, right? So, her man is upset about that. And not so much just being serenaded by Usher, but just the fact that, his woman that he had a baby by is, out here looking like that after uh, she's supposed to be the mother of his child, but she's out here dressed like that. So he has a problem with that all of the sudden. Now, I could have sat Mr. Darius Dalton down earlier before he got Keke pregnant and told him that, this was going to happen at some point. Maybe you should not be having babies with this woman. I mean, she was showing her pregnant belly to everybody on TV. She did that stint where she was hosting Saturday Night Live and she showed her pregnant belly to everybody. So if she'll show that to the world, then why wouldn't she want to show her butt cheeks to Usher, right? So, when I see stuff like this, and I've seen a lot of people. Well, first of all, let me just say this. I'm not on the knucklehead female side of this argument. Okay, I'm not one of these people who is like, oh, she can do whatever she wants. You shouldn't be shaming her, and you a bad man for trying to shame this woman like that, right? This is not that type of argument. My argument is for the men out here. This is a man argument or a man discussion, I should say, not an argument. This is a discussion that we as men need to have, and something that I talk about all the time when I talk about men being responsible and men having discipline and knowing what types of women to choose to have children with. Okay, first of all, you're not married to Keke. Okay, so that's a problem in and of itself that you decided that, hey, I want to have a baby with this young female, and I don't want to marry her though. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you were truly serious about building a family structure with this female, then you would have said, hey, I need to make you my wife first before I give you my seed and my name and my legacy. You see what I'm saying? This is what a man does. This is what a man is supposed to do. Okay? And if she is a woman that you're dating and you know she's wild, I mean, I don't know who doesn't know that Keke Palmer is wild. She does movies where she's, being a lesbian. She does not even movies, but she does like social media videos where she's twerking, where she's doing splits on the ground, doing backflips like she's at a Jamaican dance hall and all this other stuff, showing how she can bust it open. So you should know what type of lady you got, okay? And you should know that if she's a lady that deserves to be your wife or the one that deserves to carry on your legacy by having your child. This is very important, okay? As men, this is something that we need to realize. We shouldn't just be shooting our seed anywhere just because we're horny or because we're in lust with a female. Okay, don't confuse lust with love and legacy and respect. Don't confuse the two. Okay, just because I'm going to be crass here, but just because your penis gets hard around this female does not mean that she needs to be carrying your seed and having your child. Okay? That's lust. That's a chemical reaction caused by what you visualize or what you're feeling from this lady. Okay? Or from this female, I should say, because she's not a lady. Doesn't have to be a lady all the time that's feeling on you. You see what I'm saying? It's just a female doing things or touching you or twerking or whatever, and it gets you excited. It turns you on. That's a chemical hormonal reaction. Most of us can't even control that, right? So you have to still have your mind, though, and your logic, and understand that just because I am physically turned on by this female does not mean I need to be giving my seed to her and, trying to raise the next generation or raise a family around her because I'm turned on by her. And when I see men do that, because I see this a lot in those manosphere discussions where they said they got to have a woman that turns them on. They got to have sex with this woman 24/7. All this stuff that doesn't mean anything or has nothing to do with someone being the mother of your child and raising a family with. You see, I understand you want to be sexually attracted to your wife or to the mother of your children. I love my wife. I'm turned on by my wife, but there's more to her than that. Okay? I decided that I wanted her to be the mother of my children when I proposed to her to marry me very early on. You see, I knew this was the woman I wanted to spend my life with. I knew this was the woman that I wanted to raise the next generation with. I knew if I had children with this woman that I could go away on business or, do any type of personal appearances for my job, and I knew I could trust her there with my child. I knew she was not going to be leaving my child at home by herself, or leaving my child in the car seat or whatever, or losing track of the child, or letting the child do something dangerous and hurting herself. You see, I can trust my wife with my child. You see, I can let my wife take my daughter shopping knowing that my wife is going to look out for her. I know my wife is responsible because she was a responsible young woman when I met her. You see? So this is the things we need to think about before we decide to put our seed in somebody. And I definitely waited until after my wife and I were married until I decided that this is what we're going to do as far as creating a family. Okay? So these are things that men need to think about. Okay? You got to stop. At some point, you need to stop being a Rudy poop and thinking with your penis. Okay? So Darius Dalton was thinking with his penis when he got with Keke Palmer. He was living off the hype. She's famous. She's cute. She's a very attractive and pretty lady. I mean, I still see her as a child. Because I've known her since she was like a child actress. So it's like, this for me, like looking at Keke Palmer is like looking at my little cousin or something like that, right? So I don't find her attractive in that way. But I understand that there are men out there that probably do find her attractive based on their age, right? So he was called off of that hype of Keke Palmer being an attractive lady, being a lady that gets a lot of attention. She's a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's very cute. So he was just thinking about that. He was not thinking about what the repercussions of her actions could bring to him later on. So, he's making this quote now on Twitter, which is stupid, by the way. Okay? As a man, even if you are upset about this, you don't handle it on Twitter or on social media. If you're upset about your girl having her booty out, then you need to talk to her personally. I would not put this on social media. I would talk to my lady personally about this if I had a problem with it. Okay? I would tell her you don't need to be having your ass out. But then again, I would not choose a woman that was doing that. And if I did, let's just be honest. If I choose a woman to be with and that's what she did when we met, then I almost had to accept that. I almost had to accept that she's not going to change and that she's always going to do things like this. If I met her like this, if the first time I met her, she had her booty in my face and was dressed provocatively, you almost have to expect that going on. Having a child with her is not going to change her. Being the mother of your children is not going to change her. This is actually one of the reasons, and I know a lot of manosphere goons and buffoons are going to get upset with me when I say this. This is actually one of the reasons you never really see me criticizing Russell Wilson and his relationship with Sierra. Would I date Sierra? Hell no. Would I deal with a woman who's always twerking everywhere and talking about how she's an independent woman even though she's married to me and has my children and I'm married to her and I accepted her last child by a Rudy Poot and we have children together? Would I go for that? Hell no. But I really can't criticize Russell Wilson because he seems to be okay with her buffoonery. You know, if he's goofy enough to want to go along with that, and he seems to know what he has and what type of woman he has, every time she makes a twerking video, he's got his face in there. You know, he's got his face buried in her butt cheeks or whatever, or he reposts her twerking videos and talks about how sexy his wife is. Go for it, Russell. You go on and get it. You know, I can't criticize. At least he seems to know what he's dealing with. If your wife is a 304 and she's doing all types of crazy stuff, doing strange things for some change, and that's what she does, and you know this, and you like this, there's nothing really I can say to you. Okay? Go for it. Now, I don't think that's going to end well, but that's my personal opinion based on how I would react. But, you know, maybe he's a different type of guy. Okay? Maybe he's just simping and goofy to his soul. He can't help it. He's cool with it. He's just happy. He's got someone to do that, do twerk on him at home or whatever, right? So, you know, as long as he doesn't care about the optics of it, I don't care. Darius is a different story. He seems to be upset and a little heartbroken by this. Bro, like I said, if you wanted to deal with this, you need to deal with this a little bit behind closed doors, because you're making yourself look stupid at this point. That's just my humble opinion. I get it. I get it. As a man, you're hurt by this. I understand that. Trust me, I do. If my wife decided to do this, I'll be very upset. But then again, my wife has never done something like this before, and if she did it now, it will be completely out of character, and we would have to sit down and have a talk about us going further in a relationship with, you know, my wife and the mother of my children acting like this. But if she was acting like this before and I still married her, I had to accept that. Okay? You don't have the magic penis that's going to change a female. Likewise, I always tell women the same thing. Your vagina is not magic. It's not going to change a male. If he was a dirtbag and a Rudy Poot before you had children, that's what he's going to be after the child comes. Okay, when women, they always get me with they think that their man just mysteriously changed. People, they always say this, people change after the child shows up. No, not really. Okay, you know what type of person you have, if they're solid or if they're not. And if they were shaky beforehand, you shouldn't have had children with them. Okay, don't come talking to me that nonsense that they changed after the fact. You saw the signs ahead of time. You just thought you had the magic coochie that was going to change them. That's not true. That's not how life works. That's not reality. Okay? And if for nothing else, you should have seen generations past of how this worked out in the end to know that it wasn't going to work for you. You're not special. Your vagina is not special. If it didn't work for grandmama, your mama, your sister, your auntie, your older cousin, it's not going to work for you either. Okay? So, you know, I just want people to start thinking more on a mature level and being more adult about these things, because there's no reason to get into these situations and still act very childish. And once again, to Darius, I get it. I get it, you're hurt. I get it, your feelings are hurt. But once again, if you're having children with this lady and you didn't see this coming, you didn't see it coming when she was showing her belly on TV, you didn't see it coming when she's posting all these provocative pictures everywhere else, and then now she's got her booty out for Usher and her cleavage out for Usher. I don't know what to tell you. You should have seen this coming. Okay? So this is something that we need to think about as men. If you're going to have a woman, and listen, listen, I'm sorry I didn't say this at the beginning, but I know you manosphere clowns are going to show up and say, this is why we don't date black women, because black women do this, that. Shut up. Shut up. Okay? This conversation is not for you. This is actually a real men conversation. Okay? I know you guys are confused. I know you've been listening to Fresh and Fit or Fuckboy and Fruity, but this is not that type of conversation. Okay? I'm talking about having a real conversation amongst men. All right? So don't come here with that nonsense about it's all black women and I got to go get my passport. You still living dusty at your mama's house. You ain't got no passport. You ain't got a bus pass, Negro. So don't talk about your passport. I'm talking with men out here and young men who have some sense still to understand what type of women you're going to be with. If you want to be with the girls who are all scandalous and dress scantily clad and twerk everywhere and do all this other stuff and do splits on the D, do that. Nothing wrong with that if you're going to be with that, but understand what you're getting into. Don't be crying sour grapes later when you have children with her or you marry her and she's busting her ass cheeks open at your child's graduation or at your child's birthday party or on stage somewhere. Okay? Understand what you're getting into. If you don't want that, take the time to find a woman who's not into that. Maybe you need to check yourself and think, hey, I don't want a woman to be like that, but that's all I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to girls with their ass out. I'm attracted to the women who have their panties showing or who don't wear drawers at all or who have, every time they bend over, you can see their private parts and they got tattoos all over their private parts and everything else. I'm attracted to that. Maybe you need to check yourself and think about what you're attracted to and fix that. And that way it will lead you to greener pastures and to better things. Okay, think about that. Sometimes a lot of you guys think girls who got glasses on who dress very conservatively, those types of girls are boring, and you're not attracted to that. You're attracted to the big fat nasty hydrogel asses walking around and hanging out. So, but then you get upset when the girl reveals herself to be a hoe or just has been always showing you that she's a hoe, and then you're just shocked by that. Okay, so think about these things. Be thoughtful and be logical in your choices and understand that you have to deal with the consequences of your choices. Anyway, Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on a devil's back. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section.